What up, guys? Playing the same old game. It's a rinky-dink thermostat set on 76. It's clearly not 76 degrees in here. Heat. All right. It is set up for gas, it looks like. Pretty sure this is an Aaon unit. Well, here's your sign. There's no heating wire. I got RC in common and yellow. This building has been repurposed. I'm actually going to be moving this thermostat, maybe putting a different thermostat on. Let's get up to the roof and see what we got, but I'm sure we have no heat call. Fire exit's down there. Still searching for my roof hatch. I think we found it. Well, that's not a bad little hatch. I hope it's not locked. If it is, I'll have to find a key. Let's go up there and see what we got. So we are locked. I don't see a key laying around anywhere. It's not a good sign when this has been cut off. Oh, it's sitting right there. Let's go see if they got a key to this thing. I really don't want to cut this lock off. I found the key. We got an old Aaon. Gas is on. We had some wasp in there. Got fried. No VAR controls they're not using anymore. It's like a fairly new gas valve and a big old combustion motor. We've got an airflow switch bypassed nicely. I should have an airflow switch in my truck. Here's my thermostat here. So it's not wired for heat either. I do have all my wires down there. It looks like basically they've taken, these things had hack jobs over the years. I think they took the controls out, so I got heat stage 1 and 2 there, and wires missing everywhere. Looks like those might have been cool. No wonder it ain't working. That's 24 volts. 24 volt common. Alright, let's give this guy a once over, see if we can't look at the heat exchanger. You got a wasp nest right up in there on that blower. Really probably need to get to that, so one thing at a time. Filters don't look too bad. They've been wet. This is, man, everything's rotating. We've had problems with the blower apparently over the years. Somebody's done a wonderful welding job. Apparently they couldn't weld that whole thing. feels pretty sturdy. Good God. This place, like I said, it's been repurposed. They know what they've got. We're just trying to get them some heat on, and it doesn't help that it's not wired. I have a feeling this thing is going to be bouncing like crazy. For it to have broken that steel base, granted it is old, that is looks like it's a different type of wheel, and it's probably all out of balance. This thing probably get rocking and rolling. Got, good Lord, another old airflow switch. That is a mixed air sensor. Broken wire. That would have been for the used to be controls. We got another auxiliary limit, so that's going to keep us from firing. So let's make sure our limit's closed and get that wired back on. That's not going to work. I think I have an airflow switch. Way too many bypass. They just bypass that airflow switch. But let's get all that taken care of. And then maybe we can jump it out, give it a heat call, see if it comes on. And then go from there. It's a nightmare. Looks like we got a wire cut right there too. That looks like it goes over to a condenser fan motor. Yeah, right here. We got a bad condenser fan motor. They've had guys doing work out here and just hack jobs, man. So the beauty of this is we've got another one here that's turned off. We've probably got a bunch of them that are turned off. You can see these all the old Aeons on the back. They haven't done anything with it because they got a bunch of problems. Well, you can see as well that they've done a whole lot of work on the front with all the new trains sitting up there. So they did a bunch of work, and now they're just, I think somebody moved into an office upstairs, which is what that unit controls. But anyways, we can get this off. I've got some parts that I'll be able to rob if needed. I got an airflow switch that's connected back there, so we'll swap that airflow switch out, see if that works. But we got a whole lot going on here. Hopefully in the next little bit we can get all these replaced. I don't know how much this space back here is being used. Good Lord. I got in there and looked at the heat exchanger. It looks pretty good. I don't see any cracks or anything. I had my flashlight and showed the mirror down in there. So we'll slide this back in, because if I lose it, I'm in trouble. I'll never get the thing back on here. So I got everything back in here. We got a new terminal on. Everything's secured, wires out of the way. This guy, I have a feeling, is going to be noisy. Come over here. We've got our airflow switch plugged back on. I didn't swap it out. We're gonna get in here and take the wasp nest out. That ought to help that. It spins freely. So we'll get the cover back on. Cross our fingers with this thing. We'll stand back and turn this thing on. Probably just gonna turn it on, jump it out one thing at a time, and then we'll worry about connecting the stat and all that good stuff. Alright, so not sure if I've looked less forward to jumping a unit out ever. I got my red hooked up. It's like these are my common cool stage and heat stage over here. These are the status inputs, and that's what's been disconnected from what used to be an old control system. So we're gonna go first with the fan. And it was anticlimactic. I verified power. I do have power. I'm not sure where this comes into play, but it feeds into here and then over to the other side. So let me check my other fuses, make sure I've got 24 volt power. Now we get the joy of tracing down wires, because that's what I love to do. White and red, and then black's my common. That's my blower contactor. There's no overload in place on it. Power is off, by the way. Somebody has got, I found my white and red wire was sitting right there, and that should go to the blower contactor. This wire, these hack jobs suck. That wire is right here and goes to nothing. It probably again went to the controls. So I think that'll get my blower to run, and we'll see what else we got to trace out. All right, don't get jumpy on me. I'll try this again. Fan. Nothing. I do have 24 volts, by the way. Something else holding me out. All right, this gets more and more fun. So if we follow it out, we connected our white and red. Black, this side runs over to my common terminal block. This side runs down to my combustion relay. So it hits my combustion relay and feeds common to my ignition control and to the common side of the gas valve. So when I traced it out, that wire that runs to my common on the contactor is going to the condenser fan contactor, and there's nothing on that terminal back there, so we gotta get that on to common for my heat. Don't really know how that helps my blower yet, but I'm just tracing my wires one at a time here. Alright, so here's what I've done for now. We're gonna use 24 volts and send it via the wire that was on that contactor, and just send straight 24 volts. This wire is not supposed to be on the blower. That's my brown and white, and it's supposed to be over here. Actually, I think it is supposed to be on terminal 6, but that's just for the Novar control, so it can see what's going on. Because that plugs into the INDX1 terminal and then goes over to terminal 6, and then that brown, yep, goes to the blower contactor. So that's correct. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook that wire back up as well, and then we ought to have a signal to the blower. All right, none of this is perfect, guys, but just trying to get it back to wired like it's supposed to be, at least to operate, because we're not using that control anymore. So here goes nothing. Alright, now I got a blower. So that's a good sign. It actually doesn't sound terribly bad. The motor is dancing a little bit. Alright, so looks like my heat wires were still connected. So let's see what happens when we give it a heat call. strip that wire, see what we got. See what happens when we give it a heat call. Okay, so my relay went. So I got something there. It started up slow. That capacitor back here is gonna be dead. So let's start there. Let's get a new capacitor on it. It did run. It was running. So as long as we can close that airflow switch, all of our safeties are wired back in. I traced my high limit, and I traced my the blower safety on the other side that we wired back in, and those are still connected. So should be good on that. And we'll test some of that before we run off and leave. This ain't gonna be perfect, but I'll try and get on some heat until we can figure out what the permanent solution is, like replacing this thing. It was about that time. I don't even know the age on this thing. I had to guess, I'd say 90s. I don't remember on these old serial numbers, but it looks like maybe 98. But anyways, we're gonna keep moving on. Let's get the capacitor done, and then we'll cycle this thing again. All right, capacitor actually checked good, amazingly. So it's probably the start winding in this motor, but I'm not gonna go any further. We gotta jump back out. Let's see if the heat will fire. You see it was slow to start up. Switch is closed. I don't hear any spark or anything else. Alright. We gotta investigate this controller. I didn't hear any spark, but I mean all this crap's old. Heat relay's got to be working because my motor came on, so I'm gonna lean towards something going on in here, whether it's not working or not sending my spark. I don't see anything that's been unwired on it. It all looks like it's there. So let's go from there. Let's verify that I've got voltage there. And then from there, I might be able to pull one off this guy. I don't remember if it had one or not. Everything's been robbed off of this thing already. Control's gone. Thermostat's not hooked up. That's a better looking spark ignition. It doesn't look nearly as bad. So let's go from there. This is not fun, guys. Another wire to trace. So I've got common. I know that because I've already traced it out, and it's going to my combustion relay. I, however, do not have red because red runs up to this terminal block here, which is not being used. We can see common on my transformer feeds the bottom side of that terminal block and ground, and then the red hot side of my transformer, they've cut and are feeding just the control board where I'm jumping it from and the thermostat at this point. So I've got to get a wire up to that terminal block because that's going to be my hot. I'll work on that and see if that works. So the red is going to feed that. It's tied onto here, which is wires have been cut and it's not being used either. It's a cluster. So let's tie that into our reds right there, and that'll give me power down to the ignition module. So we've tied that red there. Cross your damn fingers. Oh, I didn't even jump it out yet. Damn it, man. flame roll out, nothing weird. Like I said, all my safeties were in the loop, but let's test a couple just to be safe. High limit kills my burner. Tied in with the auxiliary limit on the blower. So that kills my burner. And I'm just double checking so I make sure all my safeties are in the loop. That's the biggest thing here. Well, the first biggest thing was the heat exchanger wasn't cracked, but we need to make sure our safeties do work. So I already traced that wire over to the blower, the auxiliary limit. So that's good. We're gonna let this guy go. I'm gonna go down and put a thermostat on in the space and get it wired into, well, the thermostat that's in there. I'm actually gonna move it because they're not using, obviously the space where that thermostat is empty. So I'm gonna move the thermostat over to the space that they're actually using for offices. Well, that was fun, guys. It's not always perfect. We're working on getting all of these units replaced, and they literally just moved up into this upstairs and started using it as an office. So here we are. I don't even know what else to say about this. It is what it is, man. Heat exchanger's okay. My safeties are working. My heat's on. I'm good with that. I'm gonna let it run for a little while I go get a thermostat and get a thermostat on the wall, and we'll test everything out again. It's not perfect, it's not going to be, but it's good enough for now. So until we can get some, hopefully about however many units are left, some more trains or carriers or whatever the hell they want to put up there. These Aeons are nice units, lasted forever, obviously, as you can see, but with the controls in these places, we've got a few places like this that they're trying to update their stuff, and the controls are a pain, and they've had random people come out and try to get things running, and you get wiring hack jobs like this with wires disconnected and cut everywhere and nothing's working. So I'm good with that. Leave me a comment, guys. Leave the tray better than y'all found it. We'll see you guys next time. Alright, so we shut the power off. I actually wired my stage 2 on orange so we can actually, you don't have to run full capacity heat. And then my blower, the cooling in red and common was already wired. So leave the power off. Let's go down and get our thermostat on and go from there. We got some thermostat wire because everybody else has already hacked it up. Why shouldn't we hack it up a little more? This was the original stat. I'm probably just gonna get it pulled above the ceiling and wire nutted. I gotta get it over on the other side of that wall. Make sure we got tight connections. It's late in the day. Everybody's gone. I'm the only one here. So I'm trying to get this done. They left me some music playing at least. And then somebody tried to wire a 2-wire Honeywell sensor to that control that everything was disconnected on. So I'm not sure how they thought that was going to work, but I'm going to tie off here, pull my wire up, and get it on the other side. All right. Not that it really matters because everything else is just kind of hanging around this place, but I went ahead and put the thermostat back on the wall. My wires are up top and connected. We'll get over there and put the thermostat on and we'll check it out. There's your thermostat on the wall. We're gonna go up and kick it on. Got our mess cleaned up. And kick it on and cross your fingers. This ought to work though. I was jumping it out just the same as the thermostat's gonna do. vibration everywhere. Oh, good God. Still curious. I'm gonna have to take down the model and see how old these things are actually. Let me know what y'all think, guys. See you guys next time.